Right now, March 13th, 2025, lunar eclipse. I'm using just a 70 millimeter telescope here. And if I flip my camera, where'd we go? We are going to find it for you. The lunar eclipse. I think, allow me to adjust. The moon, you see, moves. There we go. That right there is the lunar eclipse. Yeah, it's up to go down, down to go up. Unfortunately, I don't have the best tripod, but you can see that it is getting the shadow, turning it red. I wish I could. I'm gonna try and stabilize my tripod. It should be possible. I just have to. So it falls down a little bit. So if I tighten it, not quite so high, and then let it fall down. Yeah, there we go. I got it. Give me a minute. Okay, now let me let it settle. We got the shake and stop. There we go. Beautiful. It's a little blurry. Oh, not the camera's problem. The camera was doing its best. I will move this a little bit more. There you go. It could be the telescope I need to focus. Out of focus. Out of focus. Puts it right about there. I would use my bigger telescope, but since you're traveling right now, I didn't have that option. Okay, pretty cool though, don't you think? So right now I have, what is my eyepiece? Well, it's the best zoom I can do on a 70 millimeter telescope. Just, this is the telescope I'm using actually is my best reviewed, most viewed telescope review video. Just a cheap little telescope, and it can do pretty good. That's cool. So for the next like half hour, this will continue to, well, I don't think we're quite to totality yet. You can see there's still a little bit of white at the top. Hi friends, thanks for joining us. There we go. This is the lunar eclipse through just a backyard telescope, 70 millimeter. And it's as clear as I can get it. Again, I wish I had my other telescope, but that's okay. This is a good start. It's cool. It's a lunar eclipse. It's like you get to see the phases of the moon all in one night. Just within a couple hours. The shadow slowly covers the moon. Yeah, seems boring. Yeah, it's very slow. So let me explain why this is red. If you the main process here is Rayleigh scattering. It's the same thing that happens that turns the sunsets red. So light from the sun reaches the earth, and most of it is scattered in the atmosphere, and that's why the sky looks blue. Those shorter wavelength colors get bounced around, but the red wavelengths, they continue, and they pass. Some of them gets passed through the atmosphere and gets projected onto the moon. It gets let me adjust this a little bit. Refracted a little bit, and those longer red wavelengths from the sun hit the moon, and you can see them during the eclipse because the moon's so dark, so it's just those low frequencies that's hitting it. If we had all the sun hitting it, you wouldn't be able to see the red. It would just be the normal color. But yeah, this only happens every so often. Can't remember when the last one was. I think it was maybe 2 years ago or something. But sometimes it's just a partial lunar eclipse. This is the first total lunar eclipse that's happened for a couple of years, like I said. Can't remember the exact date. Oh, 2022. Yeah. That one I missed as well, and I was somewhere where it was cloudy, so I didn't get to see it. Luckily, the clouds parted today, and I got to see this one. Why is it not red? Why is it not red? It's kind of red. The top part's not red because we're not in totality yet. Within a few minutes, I would think all of the moon will be red. It should be. Those of you that are watching, can you see it outside, or do you have the clouds covering it? You should go out and see it. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, go check. Very nice. Oops. That probably made it even more blurry. Yeah, it's not completely red. But I think it will be soonish. Right now we are viewing this from Las Vegas. We drove a little bit out of the city, so it's a little darker. Excuse me. And yeah, this is the first time I've seen a lunar eclipse. How about you guys? Have you seen one before? Oh. Some fun facts about the moon that I always like to share are, number one, all those dark spots that we see, they call them lunar seas or lunar maria, I think. They were formed probably by volcanic activity, and there's not very many on the back side of the moon. Most of them are on this side, so the back side looks quite a bit different than this side. But we never see the back side because the moon is tidally locked. So as it goes around the Earth, it also rotates the exact same speed. So we only ever see this face of the moon, which is kind of cool. The crust is also thicker on the back side of the moon than it is on this side. Yeah. All right. Right now, this lunar eclipse is taking place. Let's see if I can see the stars by it. Oh, you know what? It is kind of a little cloudy. That might be why it's partially not 100% clear. I feel like there's some clouds up there. Let's see. Okay, so the moon is right now below the constellation Leo and right above the constellation Virgo. It's just between the lion and the, I don't know, Virgo, the woman constellation. And let me move this again. It's a little shaky. Not the best tripod for this. This cheap 70mm telescope just comes with a camera tripod, which is not ideal for stargazing with telescopes for astronomy. You want one that has controls that give you more tuning movement, because it's really hard to move it just a little bit. You need knobs that allow you to mechanically move it just a little bit. And I need to get one of those. I don't have one yet. At least not for this telescope. Wow. So there are two shadows cast by the Earth, the umbra and the penumbra. And the umbra is where we get once it's fully in that's when it looks red. Because when it just started and the penumbra was starting to cover the moon, it kind of just looked like a waxing crescent. There wasn't really much of the red color. It just was like, oh, it's a half moon or it's a partial moon. But then you start to see the red color as soon as you get near totality and the penumbra starts to, or no, not the penumbra, the actual umbra, the thicker part of the shadow starts to cover it. And then you just get a little bit of that red light that is, bouncing off our atmosphere, that survives the scattering of the atmosphere and reaches to the moon, makes it turn red. If you want to learn more about things you can see on the moon, oh no, my friend John Reed has a book about it. It's pretty, I think it's like 50 things to see on the moon. And also a book about stargazing that I drew illustrations for. That was very fun. You can check that book out. Let's see, what's it called? Stargazing for Kids of All Ages by John Reed. It's a fun little astronomy book. This view right now is from just outside of Las Vegas. We're doing some traveling. And so I only have my travel telescope right now. I would have a bigger telescope I would have liked to use, but maybe next time. Yeah. Huh, it seems to kind of be stuck there. The very top of it still isn't red. And what time is it now? Here it's 11:46. Probably by midnight it'll be completely red, I would think. But let's see if I can take a picture of it. Not while I'm live streaming, I don't think. Okay. Well, there you have it. If you're just joining me, hello. Again, this is the lunar eclipse. The red color on the moon is caused by the light filtering through the Earth's atmosphere as the Earth covers it up, and most of the light gets filtered away and scattered by the atmosphere, and then the Earth enters the shadow. Just the longer wavelengths, the reds, are able to make it through past the Earth, and they get refracted onto the moon. I made a couple YouTube shorts about that this week. You could go watch. I did a diagram. Let's turn that a little bit. There we go. Shaky moon. There we go. Sometimes this is called a blood moon because of the color, but that's just a lunar eclipse, another name for that. This is currently the worm moon. Each full moon has a different name. This is based off of the springtime when the worms come out. This full moon means spring is on its way. Well, just kind of like the calendar. So we got the lunar eclipse during the worm moon. And again, the moon is right now between the constellation Leo and Virgo. It's kind of fun to watch. Too much cloud cover on the East Coast, huh? Yeah, there's a lot of cloudy systems moving through the states right now. I was lucky I was in a spot where it's clear, so I'm glad I could share this with you, even if it's not the most clearest picture. You can still kind of get a glimpse of it. There we go. All right, we will wrap it up. Again, this is the lunar eclipse from my 70 millimeter Celestron Travel scope. Fairly inexpensive little telescope. It comes with a camera tripod, which is not the most user-friendly for stargazing, but it does work for cheap, on a budget. And I have some reviews on them and links to those telescopes in the descriptions of those videos. And so you can check them out. And yeah, thanks for joining me. I'll probably wrap this up here in a minute. There it is. Lunar eclipse. You are welcome. Glad I could share, and thank you for joining me. Have a good night.